And hello, everyone. This is our fifth session on emotional agility, and it's focused on microdosing. And as Paul mentioned, there's an entire series on microdosing that I did before a couple years ago. So I strongly recommend that if you have a special interest in this, go check that one out. So here we're going to be covering how microdosing is a subtle medicine for potent transformation, can support us in our emotional agility journey, in healing our nervous systems, cultivating better connections, living, loving, and leading from harmony. So, in this series, we've so far covered emotional agility foundations, emotional agility and trauma, dating and intimacy, and leadership. And today we're focusing on microdosing. What you're going to learn in this session is how mindful microdosing supports emotional agility, how to start mindful microdosing, and what are some practices that nurture emotional agility while microdosing. A little refresher for some of you that might not have been in the initial sessions. Emotional agility is our ability to navigate and adapt to our own emotions and the emotions of others in a flexible and healthy way. Instead of indulging, denying our emotional responses, this practice is about a deep knowledge of our emotional terrain by understanding the underlying causes and using this awareness to make constructive choices in our behaviors and actions. And with that said, microdosing is an optimal practice to cultivate emotional agility. And we're going to walk through why this particular vehicle requires and deserves a full session on in and of itself. I've seen this, having worked with emotional agility and nervous system therapy for years. When I started to incorporate microdosing in my practice with clients just 4 years ago, the results were exponentially better. It was unreal what we could accomplish by just adding this practice into a combination integrative therapy that I was already doing. And so it really does deserve to be acknowledged. And the practice itself truly transforms lives, gets people, like Paul said earlier, off of antidepressants, prevents them from getting on them, or anxiolytics, even Adderall in combination with stacking and different neurotropics, which we've covered in other sessions. And we do the Friday morning sessions in neurotropics, we've talked about that too. So go check that one out too if you're interested in microdosing and neurotropics. So what is microdosing? Microdosing essentially involves ingesting small amounts, subperceptual amounts of a psychedelic substance for the purpose of cognitive, emotional health and well-being. When we say subperceptual, what that means is that it should be so little that it is below perception. So very, very small amount. I personally like to work about a 20th of a dose, but a 10th to a 20th is the spectrum for a microdose. Less is more, less is more, less is more when it comes to microdosing. So start slow, low, and go slow. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well.